Just give me a couple of minutes. We'll continue here. Connect now. Fine, guys. Now I'll just go for briefly discussion about the syllabus. Okay. So as we discussed, we'll be discussing about the supply chain management models, detailed processes, and also the technical part of this. And FSM will be discussing functional setup manager, which is mainly used to manage all our functional setups, in the financials or in supply chain management. Everywhere we'll be using that. So I'll show you where exactly this is in our system, FSM, functional setup manager. The moment whenever user log into the applications, into the Fission applications cloud. Okay, so cloud is an environment. Okay, so some people might be having some confusion. What is Fission cloud? What is Fission ERP? What is Oracle Fission cloud? And what is Oracle cloud, like this? Okay, so it's very simple thing. What we have to understand is cloud is different. Fission applications is different. Fission applications is a product. Fission applications is one of the ERP product or ERP software or ERP application. Okay, it is one of the ERP product. So if any enterprises are doing some business to maintain their day-to-day business transactions, they can buy this software. Once they buy the software, if they have their own server, they can install. For example, we have the laptop. So in our laptop, we will be installing MS Office. We will install some other softwares. Same way, Fission also is one of the ERP software. It is also one of the ERP software. If they have the server, if they want to maintain their own server, they can install this product in their servers. Okay, so in their servers. If client says that, no, we don't have server, we don't want to take the server. Okay, so it is very expensive and it is risky and it is time taking for us. Then what they can do is they can use Oracle server. That is called cloud. The cloud is nothing but a data center. It's a group of servers, thousands of servers. Thousands of servers will be included in the data center. Then how to connect to Oracle server? Through internet. If you have a fast bandwidth internet access, you can connect. So what will be the advantage if I use the Oracle server instead of my server is, Oracle will take care of 24/7 about my software, my data, my security, and any new versions are released, they'll take care of upgrade process this up. So this is all we will claim. Yes, but there is a concept there is a concept called cloud computing. You might have heard something, cloud computing. They will be defining the different layers. Okay, that is a big huge concept. Cloud computing, they'll take care of this, maintain the same server. If you are looking for a dedicated server, yes, they will provide. Last class we discussed, right? Last class we discussed about different environments. This, if you go for PaaS model, platform as a server, then each client will have a dedicated server, separate server. If go for SaaS model, software as a service, then there will be a one server, multiple people are going to access, and there will be a technology which will be used to maintain the security between the clients. When I am connecting, automatically I can see my access, my organization data. I cannot see other organizations' data over here. Yes, any other doubts you have? So that's a clarity about these options. Yes, data tables, database will be different based on the client detail. That is a complete cloud computing concepts they will be defining and different levels. So we will, even I don't have idea how the servers will be managed by the Oracle internally, the technology, because we are not cloud specialists. Actually, we are basically application side only, ERP products, so that the cloud specialist knows how the single server can be used for the multiple people with the different layers and all here. Yeah. Fine, guys. Okay. So this is FSM is functional setup manager. So whenever user login, this is called setup and maintenance. Setup and maintenance. From here, we are going to configure all our functional setups. All our functional setups we are going to configure, and we are going to maintain it. And we are going to maintain these all options over here it is. So whenever we go for setups, we'll be creating an implementation project here. So this user doesn't have the access to create an implementation project. Okay. So I'll show you how to, there are some roles we need to attach. Let me log in with another user and perform this. Yeah, we will be providing you the access to the server. We are cloud partners with Oracle. The moment when you subscribe to our batch, when your enrollment is done, we'll be providing the complete server access. 6 months we will be providing 24/7. You can go for access the product. If you have an internet connection, just use the URL and then go for username and password and access the product. So go to setup and maintenance. Manage implementation projects. So here in implementation project, we are going to do all our implementations. All our implementation we are going to create. We'll see supply chain management module implementation projects. The moment when we select, so implementation project is very simple. It's a group of modules. It's a group of modules which we want to implement to the client. Which we want to implement to the client. Here it is. Okay. So that is the first one we'll be talking, functional setup manager. How to configure the setups for the module here. Every task is predefined. We can create custom tasks also. Means new pages we have to develop. But generally in cloud, it's not required. In fact, Oracle will not allow. Maximum setups, whatever we required, that is provided by Oracle, we will directly go ahead with this. We'll directly go ahead with this options. Okay. So we can also create our own implementation project. It depends on the requirement. So the first step, what we have to do when we are working in the Fission product, so we have to discuss with the client how many modules they have subscribed. So it doesn't mean that the client should subscribe for all the modules. Okay, so the client might have subscribed only few modules like this. So let's say they are subscribed for procurement and for inventory and for order management. Anybody is there non-ERP background people in the batch? If you are non-ERP, then it may take some time for you to understand here. Okay. So like this, we will be discussing with the client what modules they are subscribed. According to that, here it will be used. Okay. According to that, here it will be used. So how to find what are the modules the client has subscribed in the application? The moment when we log into the applications, go to the home page. Go to the home page here. Setup and maintenance. Whenever we go for setup and maintenance, we can see that the go to offerings. Here we can find what are the offerings employers your client has subscribed. Cost and all, I don't have idea. It's very less price only. Supply chain management, it depends on the client and depends on the number of users and number of branches they are using. They'll go ahead with price. But it compared to earlier ERP implementation projects, this is very less price. Compared to earlier implementation project, this is very less price. Okay. These all are offerings. In Fusion applications, we have mainly 4 words: offerings, features, task list, task. And here we can see the domains and we will see the menu. Features are nothing but a modules. Task list is nothing but a menu. Task is nothing but a one ADF page. One task is nothing but one ADF page. Over here it is. One ADF page. Over here it is. So I hope everybody knows these words, but we don't use these words generally in Fusion product. We'll be using offerings of features, task list and task. Task list and task. Over here it is. Okay. Next. So after functional setup manager, we'll be discussing about security console. So what is meant by security console? We will be creating the usernames and passwords. And once we create username and password, then we will be giving the assignments. Nothing but we will assign the roles to the users. We'll go for assign the roles to the user. So based on the roles only, users can access this product. Based on the roles only, users can access the product. So this is called a security console environment. So in this place, we are going to discuss how to create the users and how to create the roles, how to assign these roles to the users. This all we will be doing it. This all we are going to do it over here. This is an environment. We will be discussing this also. In fact, it's required. Next, enterprise structure configuration. So when we are implementing Fusion applications to the client, we should understand the client architecture. Nothing but, let's say, we are implementing Fusion applications for the client called Sony client. So we'll ask the client how many countries you are doing the business, how many locations you are doing the business, how many branches you are doing the business, nothing but number of business units, how many departments you have in every branch, okay, and how many jobs, positions. This all we are going to gather from the requirement, sorry, from the client. All this requirement we will gather from the requirement. Okay, so from the client, once we gather that, we are going to prepare the documents. We'll be following OUM methodology, Oracle Unified Methodology documentation. So to maintain all this accounting data, here it is. Okay, and that the thing will be configured in our Fusion. In our Fusion applications, we will be configuring list of branches, list of legal entities, list of legal addresses, list of departments. This all we will do it in our Fusion applications. This all will do it in our Fusion applications. So that is called enterprise structure configuration. There only will be defining the ledgers. There only will be defining the inventories, sub-inventories and locations. This all we are going to define over here. Okay, that is enterprise structure definitions. This is common. This is functional setup manager, security console, ESC, enterprise structure definition. These concepts are very common. If you implement financials, or if you implement human capital management, or you implement supply chain management to the client, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So this is very common and you are supposed to go for it. Then after that, when it comes to our domain, supply chain management domain, what we are discussing right now, we'll be starting with the inventory module. So what is the purpose of inventory module? Inventory module will be used to maintain all our items information, item catalogs, item unit of measurements, categories, and item transactions. So this all details we are going to discuss in the inventory management. So Fusion inventory module will be used to maintain all our material transaction details. To maintain all our material transaction details, it will be used. So this is the module which we are using and performing these transactions. And we will also discuss inventory material transfers. So how we are going to transfer the materials here, and like different transactions, miscellaneous transactions, sub-inventory transactions, inventory, inter-org transactions. And there are some differences for existing EBS and for the current EBS, and we are going to Fusion inventory. We'll be discussing that also. We'll be discussing that also. Here it is. Inventory controls. We know that whenever we are defining an items, we'll have lot control and serial controls to track the items here. To track the items that we will be finding over here it is. And inventory replenishments options and accrual methods. So in the inventory module, mainly we'll be talking about item creation, item transactions, item cycle counting, replenishment options, Item catalogs, categories, this all we are going to define it. Next, after inventory, then we are going for fusion procurement. So when the organizations would like to procure some goods from the suppliers, then we'll be discussing with the suppliers, and there will be some negotiations like RFQs, quotations, purchase orders, approval process, requisitions. This all we are going to do that. When we go for procurement, obviously we need a supplier management and supplier approval management, banking system. This is all we are going to discuss. Supplier module, supplier procurement transactions, this will be discussing. Logical inventory, I don't think so. It is at implemented by the Oracle in Fusion. We have to see. Maybe at this point of time in release 13, Oracle has not yet provided logical inventory options. Okay, maybe they would like to go for in the future. Okay, fine. In the procurement, we will be finding all our accounting transactions, requisitions, purchase orders, purchase order approvals. This is all we are going to see. Receipt transactions. And obviously, supplier portal will be there. Self-service procurement will be discussing. Supplier site, supplier qualifications. This is all we are going to discuss here. So that is our second module, second and third module, procurement and supplier portal and self-service procurement. Self-service procurement. This all we are going to discuss. Then sourcing module. So Oracle Fusion sourcing module is mainly used to manage the RFQs, RF request for information, request for quotation, and sourcing approvals, negotiations, this all negotiation templates preparations. This all comes here in the sourcing, and supplier qualifications will be discussing. Supplier qualifications will be discussing and will perform over here. It is. Then supplier qualification are very simple. It's not much complex. It's very simple thing where we will go for. Yes, trading community architecture is there in our account receivables to maintain our customers' data. This all here we have. Order management will be discussing order to cash cycle, how we will go for create sales orders. This entire order process will be discussing practically, creating the sales orders and booking the order, pick release, pick confirmation, pricing, manage price lists. Okay, and we got a new concept called global ordering promising, GOP orders, order architecture, DOO, order orchestration management. These are the new concepts we got in Fusion. We'll be discussing. During these transactions, we'll be discussing including the table names. What table it contains the information. As I told in the last class, this is going to be a techno-functional consultant batch. We will be discussing 100% functional setups from end-to-end implementations, both supply chain management like procurement, inventory, order management, self-service procurement and sourcing, and supplier portal, supplier qualifications. This is all we are going to discuss. And technically also we'll be discussing how to find what tables are there, how to link those tables, what is the data model in procurement, what is the data model in order management, how to build the reports, BI reports with different templates like RTF, e-text templates, Excel sheet exportation, how to define the XML busting concepts, this all. So it's going to be both technical and functional. It is in depth. If somebody says I am from functional background, yes, you will be satisfied after completion of this course, because we are covering 100% functional end-to-end in implementation. If you say I'm from technical background, I'm ready to write the coding. Yes, you can also learn the complete technical things, including the functional setups, because uh, in the current market, in the cloud market, the clients are expecting that the consultant must do both functional and technical. Then only will be on demand. Here. Yes. So we'll be discussing about drop shipment and how we can go for create back-to-back sales orders and how the internal materials will be transferred. We'll be discussing the cost management, fusion costing will be there. That will be discussing costing key flux fields, descriptive flux field, lookups, value sets. This is all are common, which we will be using regularly in all the places. In fact, we'll be discussing also. Receipt accounting is required after we perform the procure to pay cycle. So definitely we need receipting. And approvals is one of the major part in our transactions, because without approvals, no client will implement the applications, right? So we'll be having here, it is the approvals for the procurement documents and other. And when we discuss about procurement, obviously we have to talk about payables, right? So some basic setups about the payables, because it comes under financials. Account payables comes under financials, but still we should be in a position to complete the flow P2P and order to cash, right? So that we are going to see that how we can create the invoices, create the journals, and import into the GL module. This. So that is our P2P cycle and O2C cycle it comes. Yes. So SQL only. There is no Java here in Fusion applications at this point of time. We will be using only SQL. Maybe if you are going for an on-premises implementations, if you want to customize the product, means you would like to build the new pages and all ADF pages, that time we'll be using some Java concepts over there. It will be used. So that comes as a functional part. When it comes to the technical topics, we will be discussing the complete data reporting. Let me show you the environment of reporting options. So we'll see over here. So we'll go for reports and analytics. We have a concept called rapid implementations. We'll be doing the data loading by using the spreadsheets, web ADA option, ADF desktop integrators, file import and export options. Different data methods are there. We'll be able to upload and download the things. This all comes under technical part. Building the reports and analytics and defining the deep links, defining the alerts. We'll be discussing all these technical parts here. Developer content is basically to define the ADF view objects. You might have seen in ADF list of values you want to provide. We'll be using the view objects. There we will use this. There we will use the developer connect, and we can go for developers. So this is the environment, business intelligence environment, where we are going to build our BI reports and OTBI reports. This is all we are going to have it. So we'll be discussing what are the reports, BI templates we have for supply chain management. We will look into the for inventories, inventory, procurement, manufacturing models, procurement models. This is all we are going to discuss. What are embedded analytics are there, purchasing model, sourcing model, supplier qualifications. This all will be discussed. Yes, exactly. It will be in the sequence order, learning sequence only, Chinnaredi. It will be in the learning sequence only. Whenever we are implementing in the project, whatever the steps we will follow, the same steps will be following in our training. Where even once we onboard in the project, whenever we are entering into the project on board, we will perform the same steps in the sequence. One by one, we will be performing over here. It is. Okay. So that's how we will be developing the reports. Once completion of this particular course, you will be able to apply for 2 jobs. One is Oracle Fusion Cloud Supply Chain Management Functional Consultant. Release 13 version we will be working. Another one is Oracle Fusion Cloud Technical Consultant. Because once we discuss the technical part in the supply chain management, you can easily grasp into the financial also, because the same concepts will be discussed and it will be applied in the financials also. It will be applied in the financials also. Once you start working this, it will take 2 months time, Gaurav. It will be 2 months. By end of May, you will be comfortable with both functional and technical, because if we want to cover only functional, it takes 45 days, means 1.5 month maximum. But we wanted to make it is very clear for technically also, because many people who are working as a technical consultant in EBS, they are attending for these batches. So we want to make them also perfect technically in the cloud, and some functional consultants also interested to learn the technical, to make sure that their career and also the position should be safe and growing. That's the reason we are going for both options here. Okay. So any other doubts you have? Anybody would like to have? So today we'll just go for create one implementation project. So implementation project is mandatory. Go to setup and maintenance. Whenever we are implementing Fusion applications to the client, once client is subscribed to the product, the first setup what we will do is we'll create an implementation project. So implementation project is nothing but a group of offerings. Group of offerings. So I'm going to mention NES Supply Chain Management Project. NES Supply Chain Management Project. Here it is. Enterprise Assist Management, no. We are not covering. In fact, I don't have idea about EAM. It's going to be only supply chain management, which includes inventory, procurement, self-service procurement, sourcing, supplier management, supplier portal, and order management, and some basic concepts of manufacturing, but not EAM modules. So whenever we are implementing supply chain management to the client, so we are supposed to create an implementation project. There we are going to select our offerings. So offerings are nothing but a domains. Whatever domains we would like to go for implement, then it will be used here. Over here it is. So implementation project is nothing but a group of offerings which we want to implement to the client. So you want to implement financials to the client, you want to implement manufacturing, supply chain, material management, or you want to go for implement procurement, order management, or you would like to implement project management, product management. Here only we will see the event. When we select the offering, within that we will see the list of modules and task lists. This all items, item catalog, supplier configurator, these all options. So we'll be selecting all this. Of course, once we create an implementation project, after some time, if client would like to go for add some more offerings or some more task lists, then we will be using this. Here it is. I'm selecting order management modules we want to implement to the client. In order management, what you would like to implement? Pricing. And then procurement, I would like to go for implementation. So in procurement, again, purchasing, self-service procurement also, supplier portal, supplier qualification, procurement contracts. Like this, we will be selecting whatever we want to implement to the client. Here. Okay. So after selecting the offerings, whatever we want to implement to the client, then we will go for save and close an implementation project. So what we did now, we have created an implementation project. So implementation project contains a group of offerings and the options we will find over here. So let me log out and log in so that you will be able to access the implementation project. Now go to task list here and implementation projects. And we can search our implementation project, whatever we have created this. This is the implementation project we have created and we included some offerings like order management. Within the product management, we can see the inventories, inventory categories, these all options, and also procurement module. Okay. So in case if we forgot some of the options, you would like to go for include these options, then we will be using this select and add. So you can go for search some of the offerings or task list. Task list is nothing but a menu. Or task is nothing but a page. One task is nothing but a one page or one particular setup. So then it will be attached to over here it is. Yes. Exactly. Right now, what happened? We are working in the Vision instance. So we got the access to all the offerings. We got the access to all the modules and we are able to select. But when we are working with the client, the moment whenever we subscribe, whenever we log into the client instance, there we can see only the offerings which client has subscribed or they got a license. Generally, we don't use the word called licensed. Okay, that will be subscribed. Then we will start working with the applications here. Fine. So this is an implementation project creation. So this is our second demo, what we have discussed. Today we have discussed a detailed course syllabus and what exactly we are going to do and how we are going to perform the transactions, what modules technically and functionally. And tomorrow is going to be our final demo. So tomorrow we will see how to create some suppliers, how to create purchase orders so that you will get an idea. And from Monday onwards, we will start the regular sessions right from the beginning. So any doubts you are having, anybody would like to talk with me? Please raise the hand here. Yes, cloud integration services, ICS, is mainly used to go for integrate the cloud applications. Here it is. So if client is using multiple applications like Fusion, SAP, PeopleSoft, or any other Salesforce, if they want to integrate the applications and data migration between the applications, then we will be using ICS, Integrated Cloud Services. Yes, Rakesh, we can understand, not a problem. As in the demos, I'm going very high level, discussing about the modules directly. But generally, whenever we go for start working with the functional codes, we'll be discussing the basic requirement of the client. And according to that, we will go ahead with these options. Thank you. So let's see you tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be our final demo. So, and people who would like to go for continuation of this batch enrollment, please contact our coordinator. I hope you have the communication number with you. Yes. So let's see you tomorrow. Thank you. Thank you for your valuable time attending this second demo session.